Hey everyone, and welcome. We're diving into a story that's sending shockwaves through Silicon Valley. Imagine cutting-edge AI, not just for tech giants with billions to spend.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. This Chinese AI startup, DeepSeek, they're making that a reality, and people are taking notice.
They've built an AI model, DeepSeek R1, and it's going head-to-head with ChatGPT. But here's the kicker, they're doing it on a shoestring budget.
It's incredible. It's like this hidden treasure. They're not relying on all the latest expensive gadgets. They're showing you can get amazing results even with older tools.
It's a real David and Goliath story, and we've got a ton of articles about it. Economic Times, Mint, Your Story, even BGR, they're all buzzing about DeepSeek's sudden rise. Some are calling them a disruptor, others a game changer, some even a threat. Is the hype real?
Well, if their approach works, it could really shake things up. We could see a future where these powerful AI tools are available to way more people and organizations.
So DeepSeek could be leveling the playing field. That's a big deal. But hold on, here are these DeepSeek guys. They seem to have come out of nowhere.
Well, not exactly. DeepSeek was founded in 2023 by this guy, Liang Wenfeng. He was a hedge fund manager.
A hedge fund manager. Interesting. What made him jump from Wall Street to Silicon Valley?
He was already using AI at his firm, High Flyer, for stock trading. But he spun off DeepSeek to focus on these really efficient AI models.
Okay, so he sees the potential in AI beyond just finance. That's smart. And get this, DeepSeek is mostly staffed by young graduates. Some are straight out of universities like Peking University and Tsinghua University. Talk about ambition.
Yeah, and maybe that's their secret weapon, this fresh perspective, this willingness to go against the grain. They seem to be approaching AI in a totally different way.
All right, let's get into DeepSeek R1, their AI model. What's so special about it? Is it really as good as ChatGPT?
From what we've read, it seems to be at least comparable in performance. DeepSeek R1 has been tested against ChatGPT on a bunch of different tasks like math, general knowledge, question answering, and the results are impressive, especially considering the difference in resources.
Wait, you're telling me DeepSeek is achieving these results with a fraction of the budget OpenAI has? How is that even possible? It's like they're pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
It's not magic, but it is pretty ingenious. They're all about software innovation and optimizing their resources. So instead of using the newest, priciest hardware like those Nvidia H100 GPUs everyone in the US is crazy about, they've gone with older, cheaper H800 GPUs.
So they're focusing on efficiency over raw power. But can you really get the same level of performance from older hardware?
That's the amazing part. DeepSeek has come up with these really clever techniques to squeeze every bit of performance out of their hardware.
Like what? Give us an example.
Okay, so they're using this method called multi-head latent attention. It helps the model process information more efficiently. And they've also implemented a mixture of experts architecture. It's like a team of specialized chefs, each handling a specific part of the meal instead of one chef trying to do everything. So they're maximizing efficiency by splitting tasks between these smaller specialized units.
It's like they're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. But is there a downside to this approach? I mean, are there any trade-offs?
That's a good question. While they've achieved impressive results with the H800s, DeepSeek might run into limitations if the need for computational power keeps growing. AI is constantly evolving, and they'll need to keep up with the pace of innovation.
So there's a chance they could fall behind in the long run.
There's always that risk, especially in a field like AI where things move so fast. But their lean approach could also be an advantage. It lets them be more flexible, adapt quicker to changes. Not being tied to huge investments in the latest hardware could give them more room to experiment and come up with new ideas.
So it's a calculated risk.
Yeah.
Now, DeepSeek's success has obviously gotten a lot of attention. What kind of impact are we seeing in the market?
Well, there are reports that DeepSeek's AI assistant app is topping the charts on the Apple App Store. It's even surpassing ChatGPT in downloads. This sudden popularity has gotten investors interested, and it's sending ripples through the stock market.
So some people aren't too happy about DeepSeek's success. But what does all this mean for the average person? Why should our listeners care about a Chinese AI startup potentially disrupting Silicon Valley?
Well, I think it's a wake-up call. DeepSeek shows us that innovation can come from anywhere. It's not just Silicon Valley pushing the boundaries of AI anymore. This opens up a world of possibilities.
Possibilities like what?
Imagine small businesses suddenly having access to AI tools that were way too expensive before. They could use AI for marketing, customer service, even developing new products. Researchers in developing countries could use these tools to tackle challenges they face. The potential is huge.
It sounds pretty exciting, but I'm sure there's got to be another side to this coin, right? What challenges might DeepSeek face?
You're right, there are definitely challenges. For example, being a Chinese company means DeepSeek has to deal with government censorship. That could limit the information their AI can provide. It'll be interesting to see how they handle those restrictions, especially as they get more users worldwide.
That's a good point. And what about their ability to handle this sudden surge in popularity? Can they keep up with the demand?
Yeah, that's another hurdle they'll have to overcome. Mint mentioned DeepSeek experienced some outages because of all the new users after their app launched. If they want to be a major player, they need to make sure their system can handle the load. Reliability is key.
So we've got this scrappy startup shaking things up, going up against the big guys. What's next? Where does DeepSeek go from here?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Their long-term success depends on a few things. Can they keep their costs low? Can they stay ahead of the technology curve? And can they navigate all the complex geopolitics? It's a lot to juggle.
So DeepSeek's at a crossroads. They've got all this momentum, but there are some major obstacles ahead. What do you think? Will they be able to overcome these challenges and become a dominant force in the AI world?
That's a tough one to predict. I mean, their success so far shows they have the potential, but it's still early days. The AI landscape is constantly changing, so there are no guarantees.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see what they do next. This is a company that isn't afraid to take risks, to challenge the way things are done, to think outside the box. And that's refreshing to see. But before we get too carried away with the excitement, let's take a closer look at their open source approach. It's been generating a lot of buzz, and for good reason. But what does it actually mean? What are the implications?
That's where things get really interesting, and that's exactly what we'll be diving into after a quick break.
So we talked about DeepSeek's story, their innovative approach, and the impact they're having. But there's one more thing we need to explore, their open source approach. There's been a lot of buzz about this in the tech world. What's the big deal with open source, and why is DeepSeek's choice so significant?
Open source means they're making the code behind their AI models freely available. Anyone can use it, modify it, even distribute it.
So they're basically giving away their secret sauce.
Hmm.
That seems pretty radical. What's the strategy there?
It might seem counterintuitive, but there are some really good reasons for it. One is that it encourages collaboration and speeds up innovation within the AI community.
So instead of keeping their advancements to themselves, they're sharing them with everyone.
Exactly. By making their code open source, DeepSeek's inviting others to build on their work, experiment with it, and find new applications. This could lead to AI developing much faster and a wider range of AI tools and solutions becoming available.
So it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, you could say that. And it's not just about being altruistic. DeepSeek also benefits from the collective knowledge of the open source community. Having more people look at their code means bugs can be identified and fixed faster. They can improve their model's efficiency and even discover new possibilities they hadn't thought of before.
So it's like having a global team of collaborators working with them 24/7.
Exactly. And this open source approach fits perfectly with DeepSeek's mission of democratizing AI. By making their technology accessible to everyone, they're breaking down the barriers that have kept smaller companies, researchers, and developers from experimenting with cutting-edge AI.
This could really change the game. Imagine the possibilities. Small businesses using AI for marketing or customer service, researchers in developing countries tackling local challenges.
Absolutely. And it's not just limited to companies and researchers. Open source AI could give individuals the power to create their own AI-powered tools. We could see a huge surge in creativity and innovation as people find new and unexpected ways to use this technology.
It all sounds amazing. But are there any potential downsides to this open source approach?
There are always things to consider. One concern is the potential for misuse. When a technology is freely available, there's always a chance it could be used for harmful purposes.
That's a good point. Could someone take DeepSeek's open source code and create something dangerous with it?
It's a possibility, but the open source community is usually very good at self-regulating. If someone tries to use the technology for something harmful, others in the community are likely to catch it and find ways to reduce the risk.
So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but the potential benefits seem to outweigh the risks.
That's the general feeling in the AI community. The open source movement has been a major driver of many technological advancements. DeepSeek embracing it could have a huge impact on the future of AI.
It's fascinating to see how DeepSeek is challenging not just the technology, but also the traditional way of doing business in the AI industry.
It really is. Their willingness to disrupt the norm could be a sign of what's to come. Maybe we're seeing a shift in how AI is developed and accessed.
Okay, so let's bring this back to our listeners. Why should they care about all of this? What's the key takeaway?
I think the biggest takeaway is that DeepSeek shows us the power of innovation and thinking outside the box. They've shown that amazing results are possible even with limited resources, and their open source approach could lead to AI becoming more accessible and inclusive.
It's a story full of hope and potential. And it also highlights how important government policies and geopolitical factors are in the development of AI. The rivalry between the US and China in the tech sector is something we'll be watching closely as this story unfolds.
Definitely. This is a story that goes beyond just technology. It touches on economics, geopolitics, and even ethics. It's a fascinating look at the forces that are shaping our world today.
So DeepSeek's throwing down the gauntlet,
Yeah.
challenging the status quo, and potentially reshaping the AI landscape. What do you think? Is DeepSeek just a flash in the pan, or are we witnessing the rise of a new AI power player? It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
One thing's for sure, DeepSeek's story proves that innovation can come from anywhere.
It really does. You don't have to be a big player to have a big impact.
And that open source approach, that's something we'll be keeping an eye on.
Absolutely. It has the potential to make AI tools available to so many more people.
But like with any new tech, we need to think about the good and the bad.
Right. Both the potential benefits and the potential downsides.
So let's recap what we've learned about DeepSeek. They're this Chinese startup that's come out of nowhere with their DeepSeek R1 AI model, rivaling ChatGPT.
And doing it all while keeping costs incredibly low. It's impressive.
Their secret, smart software and making the most of their resources.
Exactly. They've shown you don't need the most expensive hardware to make breakthroughs in AI.
And then there's that decision to go open source. It's a game changer, potentially speeding up AI development and making these tools accessible to a much wider audience.
Think of all the possibilities. Small businesses, researchers, developers, they could all use DeepSeek's tech to build innovative solutions.
But there are challenges too. They need to navigate government censorship and make sure their system can handle their rapid growth.
And the big question is, can they keep this momentum going? Can they really transform the AI landscape?
Time will tell. The DeepSeek story is a reminder that even in this world, the impossible can become possible. A small team with a big vision can challenge entire industries.
It really can. And it raises some important questions. Well, if DeepSeek keeps going like this, will we see a fundamental shift in how AI is developed? Could we see a truly open and accessible AI landscape? Or will we face new challenges we haven't even thought of?
Those are some thought-provoking questions. DeepSeek's journey is just starting, and we'll be watching it closely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of DeepSeek.
It's been a pleasure.
This is the AI startup, making waves, challenging the norms. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring. There's a whole world of knowledge out there.
And we'll be here to help you dive right in.
So that was today's episode of my Side Hustle Weekend podcast. For everyone listening, if you're ready to take action on what you learned today, here's where you can find more resources. First, head over to sidehustleweekend.com. I've put together detailed guides, templates, and case studies. And while you are there, don't miss out on my free newsletter, Side Hustle Weekend. If you found value in today's discussion, hit that like button and subscribe to join our Weekend Hustlers community. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our episodes where we break down more side hustle strategies. Check the description below for all the tools and resources we mentioned today. Remember, everyone's journey starts with a single step. Whether you're looking to make an extra $500 a month or build something bigger, start with what you learned today and take action. So, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode where we'll break down another practical way to grow your income.